Question: yes. That puts it into an impersonal framework, which is where it belongs. Datre: yes. All that is still not a God concept at all. All that is everything that is within your bubble for your use in whatever way you want to use it. Now you'll say, well, we have energy strains coming into the planet that are different. But remember, it is still energy. Now, that is all we can use to describe it because it's the only word you have. You don't realize what a scramble we have sometimes, trying to explain things that we know, and for which you don't have words. But energy is the best that we can think of, because it is and it isn't. Then, with the energies coming into the planet that are new and different from anything that has been here before it, it only transforms the physical construct of the individual as they so desire to use it. Now, it is your decision as to how you want to use it. You can use this new energy to help with your understanding of what the universe is all about. Because the energy that comes into the planet interacts with the mass consciousness. The thought patterns of the physical constructs on the planet pick up these new energies and use them in different ways than they have ever been used before, and changes your mass consciousness. It is much like your web that you talk about all the time. That is a very good analogy, because what do you do with a web? You link. Where the little threads come together, they link. That is what it is all about with your planet. The idea is based on your planetary grid. It is your planetary grid that holds you on the planet. The grid intersections are where the energy is held together, and actually it is like a web. You call them ley lines. You call them all different sorts of things. But what it is, it's an energy web that is used by the physical construct. So, whoever thought up the word web was using the energy to connect individuals all over your planet through a different medium. But it is still the use of energy that makes the web work. Energy is what makes your computers work. Energy is what makes you work. Energy is what it is all about. That is why we don't use the term all that is. Because from our standpoint, all that is energy, because that's all there is in your bubble to use. Question: I guess trying to understand in Datre's way, all falls apart when we get into the infinite nature of all that is. Datre: well, you see, all that is was a phrase that was introduced how many years ago? It was used to expand the God concept. It was to get you to expand your thinking beyond a God that you figure looked like a man, but would be more than any man could possibly ever be. So the all that is concept was brought forth to expand your concept that all that is more than this planet. And expand it to all that is all that you can see. In other words, if the concept of all that is was not invented, maybe you would not be going to what you call Mars in your tin machines right now. So you see, different concepts are brought forward to expand your awareness into different areas of understanding. So when you use the term all that is, it's just another bigger God. That is something you have now, but really it's not necessary. You don't have to refer to God or all that is or any of that. We use the term isness in a different context. But you use that as another God terminology. What you're actually doing is trying to put a universal thought pattern into the God concept, and it doesn't work. What you have to realize is that the universe isn't just one, it is many. In other words, let's get real simplistic. If you had a little farm, say 500 acres, that one man could operate with the modern equipment. Now let's pretend that the one man is God and that 500 acres is this planet. Now there's a great big company who is buying up all these small farms to produce products, and has all manner of people working for it to ensure proper operation. They have all these different people working all these different farms. They may have a CEO, but he doesn't usually do much except try to avoid giving answers. It is all these people involved that do the work to keep the operation running smoothly. This is the relationship that you are trying to fit into that one-term God. It doesn't work. Now you don't have to refer to all that is. You don't have to refer to God. You don't have to refer to anything, even in everyday conversation, it's just a habit. If you begin to work with concepts and ideas and the way you see things as opposed to another's viewpoint, those words don't even have to be there. You see, one thing that is probably not realized to the extent that it should be, is the vibration of your words that gives an impression. The vibration of your words and the symbols on your paper are such that if you continue to use certain words and patterns, they become real. If you use a given word or symbol often enough, you can actually create a monster, and you don't even realize it. It's the repetition that reinforces that particular vibration pattern. So when you work with concepts, you eliminate certain words or symbol patterns. Then as you begin to use concepts and ideas, one day you'll begin to realize, I don't use those terms anymore. These words or symbols are just like everything else. It's just a habit. And habits take time to change. But as you become aware of a habit, each time you will come closer to catching yourself before you use that habit, and one day that habit will be no more. The new energy. Datre, we have spoken often about the changing of the energy on your planet and how it is being felt by many individuals. Now, why would you want the energy constructs of the planet to be changed? You have had many and varying instances of what you term catastrophic events that have been man-made on your planet within a very short period of time, a small number of that which you call your years in counting. This has not only been in other countries, it has also occurred here in the United States. As an example, we will list some of the catastrophic events that you are all familiar with. Lockerbie, Scotland, involving the airlines, the embassies in different countries that have been bombed. There have been other airline disasters. The Oklahoma bombing. The warship Cole bombing in the Arab waters. The Navy airplane off the coast of China. The gassing in the subway in Japan. And recently you had the World Trade Center towers in New York and the Pentagon in Washington, and another airline crash intended for another U.S. strategic building. And that is but a few. You will see that the United States and other countries have been targeted. You have Israel and Palestine who have fought for many years. You have the Afghans who have had war in their country for many years. You've had a war with Iraq. You've had fighting with Iran. You had a war between Iraq and Iran. You fought a war in Africa. You've had uprisings in many countries. The unrest in South America and Africa. Wars in Indonesia and in the Philippines. Ireland is still fighting between the Protestants and the Catholics. The United States has had the Waco, Texas, incident, the Columbine High School shooting. Now, can you see why the change in energy is important? You as a peoples cannot continue in this state of devastation for extended periods of time like you have been. You have had wars and rumors of wars for centuries. It's throughout your history as far back as you want to go. It goes back before your recorded history. And yet you continue. At one time you had huge armies that fought continuously. Now you're getting to the point where you don't have the big wars, but you have the little wars that never end. Now you talk about peace. But there never will be total peace because you have set yourselves in the position that you are right and the other person is wrong. The old eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth. So, you killed my brother, I will kill you. And then, you killed my brother, so now I'll kill another one of your brothers. And this has gone on and on. And you haven't learned from that. New energies? What are you going to do with them? This is one of the things the United States is being faced with at the present time. It has been said many, many times to those reporters that are asking questions of people about the future of this country. We don't know where we're going or what direction we're going to take or how we are going to do it, but we know we can't continue the way we have been any longer. The new energies? The new energies are very revealing. If people are reaching those conclusions, then the new energies are being used by individuals to cause them to stop and think. And in thinking, that is already a new beginning. The people on your planet have not been thinking, they have been reacting. How many times have we talked about action, not reaction? Then you will say, but many marvelous things have happened. Yes, many marvelous things have happened. You'll say, the internet is a marvelous instrument for reaching people all over the globe. Yes, that is true. Yet, how many times have whole systems gone down for long periods of times because of that which you call a virus? Now, there are always those that are going to be unhappy and disgruntled. They would rather do something to someone else, because I can't have what I want. Therefore you're not to have what you want either. Yet, if they could only look at the game that they are playing. The games that you are playing now have become more intense. It is making the individuals on your planet come together to think about these things. If you are going to work as a whole, the whole planet working together, you still cannot work together in any type of situation if you are going to come together and then split. A unity is needed. And that is being observed and acted upon. You have grand opportunities for changing the direction of the evolution of humanity on this planet. Someone recently asked the question about what has been referred to as cardboard people. Cardboard people are perceived by the individual that is seeing them as energy constructs that do not have any discernible consistent energy patterning. As we have said many times before, you create your own reality. In other words, everything you see has been created by you. When you stop and think of the magnitude of that statement, it will make you stop and think about many things. You see, everything you see has a specific vibration of energy that all of you on the planet have decided upon. We have stated that an energy construct of a tree is learned as a child. But there are variations within that energy construct that make it a different kind of tree. The same thing with a building. A building has a certain kind of energy construct. But because of the energy patterning, you have different types of buildings. You have tall buildings. You have short buildings. You have many different types of buildings. Down to houses and down to dog houses. They are all buildings. They all have a basic energy construct that you use. But each energy construct has within itself a different patterning so that you can build a building that you wish to see. Now, the energy construct that is used for, say, a dog house, everyone will agree it's a dog house. But everyone sees their own dog house. As everyone sees their own dog. It's all energy constructs. People constructs are people constructs. And you will all see people differently. You will have a baby construct. You will have a child construct. You will have a mature construct. You'll have a teenage construct. You will have parents, grandparents constructs. You'll have elderly people constructs. They all contain a certain type of vibration. How you see that vibration is your picture alone. Then you'll say, well, how come we have things that you can smell, taste, touch, feel, whatever? There again, you take the energy construct that is vibratory, and some of it forms a pattern. Others will form that which you call particles. Then you take the energy construct you call a particle and you put it inside of lines of energy, if that's what you want to call them. Then you fill in that structure with particles so that you can see it and work with it. Or make it something that you can get into, like a human body, and maneuver and change. Because you're all following known patternings. Within the human body you have designed, over long periods of that which you call time, these sensory apparatus to facilitate smell, taste, touch, feel, etc. to enhance your emotional experiences. Now, what you see as a cardboard person appears so lacking in any definite construct that it appears to be two-dimensional. In other words, your physical constructs all have 3 dimensions. Even if you see only one side of a person, you know through being taught and through your personal experiences that there's another side to that person because it has dimension. A cardboard person appears two-dimensional, height and width. It appears thin and there's nothing apparently moving. It's a construct with very little viability. And yet there are many on this planet who maintain a construct with very little viability due to their lack of interest in holding a patterning that they can use to work with and through. Now, there is another experience that you may have. It may be of your own physical construct, or it can be something that you view, like the cardboard people. We had talked about watching someone entering a room and that which you call their aura, that color that you see that extends beyond what you call the outline of your fleshy body. As a person enters through a doorway, that aura color fills the whole room. Now, that is not unusual. People do that a great deal of the time. What they're doing is, in their creation of that room in which they are entering, they are setting up the parameters. So they need to feel the room and perceive that which they are going to put into it. Now, depending upon the intensity of the individual, that will determine the coloration of the aura. There are many on the planet who appear not to have auras simply because of the intensity of the indwelling entity is not of an intensity to contain and hold what you call a color. The color of an aura is nothing more than the speed of the vibration emanating from that which you call a physical construct. So, the indwelling entity, were you to see the intensity of the color, you would immediately ascertain that that individual was obtaining every bit of information that could possibly be gathered by those energies. Now, an individual with lesser intensity would have but a very small aura around their body, lacking in color, because the intensity isn't there. Their wanting to know about themselves is insignificant. What they wish to know about is, what is happening in my physical world and everything that is related to physicality and my existence. But that is their total concern. It is all outward manifestation. And that takes very little intensity. It is the wanting to know who you are that creates the great intensity of knowingness. So when you have that great intensity of knowingness, you don't just want to create the picture for yourself, you want to live in that picture and experience everything that is there in your picture. There is a great deal of difference. The intensity of the knowingness and the wanting to know is what produces a deep color aura and an aura that can be seen as color. You know that different colors are only colors because of their vibrations as an energy construct. Your energies relating to color are very different. Why is it that when a person feels depressed and unhappy and out of sorts, the male will want a red sports car and the female will want red clothing? Because red excites and they're looking for excitement. So they will choose red because that carries a very different vibration than blue. The person that is very content and not particularly vivacious, shall we say, will be a blue person. To them, status quo is fine. The vibration is calming, they don't need to get excited about anything. And there you have your colors that you will gravitate to will be to blue. Men often seek blue, that is their favorite color, because they are looking for that which takes away the tension of their lives. You see how interesting just one thing can be in the development of you and the world about you that you provide yourself with? Color. Color is a vibratory construct. And in working with color you can do many things with it. That is why an artist enjoys painting. An artist enjoys working with colored glass. An artist enjoys that which he calls colorful music because music carries its own color through the vibration of sound. It all goes back to the same thing, vibration. They say that there are certain diseases that react favorably to different types of environment. Different environments contain different vibrations simply because that is how you form that energy. You can be in a great big auditorium and you can have that which you call your air conditioning not function. And here you have all of these peoples in this huge auditorium and everyone has a little space that they have where that are trying to sell their wares, shall we say. And everyone is hot and tired. And one person very calmly walks over in the corner of this little cubicle that he or she has and sits down very calmly and cools the whole area. And everyone that walks by can feel this cool breeze. How come this person has got all the air conditioning and no one else has it? Magic. The individual knows how to work with energy. Because they relate an energy patterning to a patterning that they know to be cool. You see, you live in a world of magic and you don't see it. You don't play with it. You are the one that forms it all. Then people will say, well, I am so bored. Then you will go from one thing to another and another, until you find something within a time frame, shall we call it, that satisfies you. You'll say, well, I can't do that, I have to work and there is so much pressure. If you're making the picture, where is the pressure? Many of you do not realize that as simple a thing as a wristwatch did not become prominent until about the time of the Second World War. You can slow things down or speed things up, it's your energy construct. The people that you work with are those created by your energy construct, it is all energy. And the magic is in learning how to work with it. This is not an overnight project. You have been working with energy constructs with this planet since you brought it into being. And you can call that a billion years or you can call it a blink of an eye, and it does not matter. Time, once again, is your energy construct. Physics has already discovered that if you magnify something enough times it will disappear. The reason it disappears is that at that level it is only energy. You cannot see energy, but you are all masters of its manipulation. Look for the magic. Things are going to be changing. Watch for it, enjoy it. It's all energy. The more you learn what it's all about, the more you will enjoy your life. If you continue to look at things as they are, you won't see it. But if you begin to look at everything from the standpoint of energy, you'll find how fascinating it is to see what you make, what you develop, what you work with. That does not mean you have to stop work and just sit around and play with energy. It is in the day-to-day experiences of that which is you in the physical construct. Take the new energies and watch the magic. Watch what you can do with the energy that is there. Watch what is happening on your television, not the silliness, but the seriousness. Not the tragedy, not the weeping and gnashing of teeth, but the new developments. Watch for the magic.